Welcome back to the Spotters Podcast, coming to you from one of the most legendary drop zones in the world, Skydive DeLand, right here in Florida. Today's episode is something special. We've recorded right here where aviation history and skydiving culture collide, and we're joined by an elite team that has been representing precision, discipline, and pure adrenaline in the sky for decades. Our guests are the British Army's Red Devil Parachute Display Team, also known as the Parachute Regiment. The iconic military skydivers known around the world for their breathtaking demonstrations, razor-sharp formations, and the unmistakable sight of red canopies cutting through the sky. In this episode, we're diving into what it takes to jump at the highest level. The training, the teamwork, the mindset, and the stories from performing at air shows and events across the globe. From the drop zone culture here in DeLand to the traditions of military parachuting, we're talking about the passion that keeps people stepping out of perfectly good airplanes. So whether you're a skydiver, an aviation enthusiast, or just someone who loves a good adrenaline story, strap in. Because today, we're going from the runway to 13,500 feet with the Red Devils. Let's get into it. All right, Rich, what does it take to become a member of the Red Devils team?
So firstly, you have to join our regiment, which is the Parachute Regiment. Do a minimum of 3 years there. So 3 years in battalion, either 1, 2 or 3 para, and then go and get your skydiving license. And then you can come on Red Devil selection. So we run a selection every year. We'll get guys come down to us. They'll spend normally about a week with us, just to get an insight, see how we work and train. And then we decide if they're good for the team, if they can work. It's mainly if they can work within a small team. Obviously, the Red Devils is quite a small team. So
How long does the training process take before someone can perform in displays?
it really depends on the individual. So if they come to us with a lot of skydiving ability, normally within, I'd say 2 years, they'll become a display jumper. I'd normally say someone that's only got minimum jumps, normally you're talking 2 to 3 years before they become a display jumper.
And what physical and mental skills are most important for the parachute jumper?
I'd say being able to react quickly, because sometimes, obviously being in the UK, we do a lot of displays quite low and quite a lot of cloud around. So it's being able to have that mental capacity to see where something might be going wrong or see something change slightly, maybe with the winds or the way the smoke's going. So just to quickly to react to that. Also, in the UK, it's not too physical, but I'd say when we're in places like today, like in America, obviously with the heat and the humidity, it's obviously you need to have some kind of physical ability to be able to obviously jump, get down, pack, and then go again. So yeah.
I mean, you guys are staying hydrated, right?
Yeah. Just trying to drink as much electrolytes, water, Gatorade as much as possible. Yeah.
And how do you practice formations and accuracy before live shows?
For a live show, we can't really practice it because we don't normally do a practice jump for that actual display. It's mainly when we're on team training that we just do repetition, and then as long as they're obviously getting that repetition in and landing by the cross, that's them good to go for the year. So it's not really, we don't really practice it predominantly. I think the only one that we practice into is Miami Air Show. That's the only time we ever get a chance to practice doing a display before we actually do for real. So a lot of the time, when we're in the UK, we look over. That's the first time I'm ever seeing that landing area for the first time. We do have pictures that we take when we do recce's, but 9 times out of 10, it's literally when we're flying over, that's the first time we've seen that arena or that drop zone.
What's your favorite part about the Miami Air Show?
Favorite part, probably the getting to jump the different airframes. Obviously, I've done Miami Air Show for the last 4 years, and everyone's been a different airframe. So I think just jumping the different airframes is probably the best thing. And then secondly, it's probably just the view. So just looking down, just seeing the water, the beach, and then seeing everyone along the beach, and then in the high-rise buildings, looking from the high-rise buildings. So yeah.
What type of parachutes and gear do you typically use for displays?
So myself, I'm part of the crew team, so I'm the stat pilot. My only rig that I use is a 176 Lightning, which is meant for doing crew. So that's mainly mine. I do tandems, so Sigmas, use those, and sometimes I do camera flying on tandem days, which is I normally use like a Sabre 150, but my main rig that I use and what I use on displays is a Lightning 176.
I saw your crew jump earlier. It looks like it's very difficult to maneuver. Is it Is it harder when you're paired up with multiple people?
Yeah, so the more people that are on it, the more gentle you got to be. So on a diamond, so what we did today, I was at the top of the diamond. I'm having to put in a like tiny little impact because it has like a pendulum effect. So the more if I pulled on it, the more the bottom's going to swing out and the big flag's going to go up. So I have to be really gentle on taking the turns, looking at my heights, and just trying to be as gentle as possible. But when it comes to like the tribicides, when that's out, and then we go into the down plane, obviously that's when we can be a lot more physical with it because we want to get it out as much as possible. The more the two guys on the left and the right get it out, the more it goes like straight down, and it is the easier the accuracy is. If it starts moving forward or backwards, it's harder to steer.
Question I had asked to the Golden Knights a few weeks ago: what is your favorite movie that contains parachutes?
I think got two. So one, because I know they did it. So I'd say the Golden Knights, because I know they did the Transformer film and they jumped into that just because I know them and they did that. And then the second one is I was lucky enough to do some training on the last Mission Impossible. Got to teach two of the actors. So I'd say that even though they did parachute, I had to teach kind of parachuting just in case they needed to use it. So I'd say those two films.
It's cool. Oh. All right. Thanks, Rich. And Ryan, what inspired you to personally join the Red Devils?
So basically, I'm just lucky that my regiment, parachute regiment, has a display team. So I got into parachuting through the military, being a paratrooper, jumping static line rounds from low. Enjoyed it, learned how to skydive, and luckily enough, the Red Devils was part of my unit. So jumped through that.
Very cool. How many jumps have you had so far?
About 1,400.
Wow. So I was talking to your team leader. He has a role. Everyone else on the team has different roles. What is your role and what do you do for the team?
So jumping wise, I'm primarily on the crew team. So every display you'll see me on the canopy formations. Another jumping job, tandem instructor as well. So we get members of the public in and spend a day with the Red Devils. We'll jump out of plane with you. And on top of that, camera flyer. And then everyone has a side job as well, working for the team. So I run all the team's social media, that kind of stuff, editing the videos for us.
How long does it take you to process the photos or videos you captured when you're training? How long does it take you to process and versus when you're doing it for, like, let's say the Miami Air Show?
Okay, so we collect all the footage at the end of the day, store it all on hard drives, archive it correctly, and then we'll stay up late and we'll make sure we're getting stuff posted out as soon as possible. So nearest to the event as possible, so we get the best engagement out of it. We'll try to do it. I think out here we're quite lucky. We're finishing 7 jumps by about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I've got the afternoon to get all the footage and edit something for you to post the next day.
And what do you use to edit?
Premiere Pro, Photoshop as well, all the daily stuff.
Do you have any type of regulations as far as editing, or is it all straight out of the camera?
No, so we, obviously being a military team, we keep everything, sensible. And apart from that, it's pretty much what you see is what you get.
How do you control where you land so precisely as a small display team?
So it's all about what we're doing now. Team training this start of the year. Every member of the team will try to get average about 100 jumps in the 3 weeks that we're going to land. And out of those 100 jumps, you want to be in and around that cross, landing in the arena every single time. And if you do well on this team training, that's you in the sky for the year. If not, you're on the ground and you try again the next year. So all of our training is done at the start of the year.
And we had talked to Rich, and you could be part of the British Army. Do you have to be solely in the UK, or can you pick up someone from Canada or Australia?
No. So the team is 100% parachute regiment. Not anymore, actually. We've now got a guest female on the team as well, just to bring a bit more engagement as well. But yeah, primarily British Army parachute regiment.
What advice would you give someone who wants to become a military parachutist?
Yeah, go for it. It's at the start, joining parachute regiment is obviously fairly difficult. But if I had to redo my career again, I'd do the same.
Is there a location that you feel that was been like your bucket list jump, or that you've gone there and you've really enjoyed it, or do you have a place in the world that you would like to go jump?
As far as displays I've done, locations, half of it. So Miami Air Show is great. You see, we're in Miami, usually in wet, rainy, cold England. Coming out to Miami is great. But most of it is who we get to interact with on the ground. So it's a nice, busy event. People are really engaging with us once we land. There's always good displays. Somewhere I'd love to jump, probably Probably that blue hole in Belize, just because I'm hot.
Oh,
I don't want to get in the water. But yeah, that looks cool.
awesome. Tell me the difference between being able to have a flag and a banner. I know there's some kind of flag etiquette, can't touch the ground. How come these, like the Union Jack and the American flag, you're allowed to let that, is it a banner or is it a flag?
So we jump off flags, so obviously we don't want to leave it on the ground for any period of time. We're very quick to pick it up. But the way in of either jump the flag or don't jump the flag, we'd rather jump the flag, pick it up in as quick and respect as possible, and then jump it again. So we'd rather have it flying over our displays than just keep it in the hangar. So we jump it.
What show are you looking forward to this year?
We've got a lot going on this year. So we've got New York, Miami, especially all the ones in the UK, doing to meet new people all the time. So there's not a display that I'm not particularly keen on. It'll all sound pretty good.
All right, Ryan. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
All right, Cameron, what weather makes a jump unsafe?
So weather that makes a jump unsafe is firstly winds. We're limited by winds, and that's 20 knots, and that can be any direction. If it gusts over 20 knots, we won't be jumping. Clouds can stop a jump. As we're UK jumpers, we can jump quite low, so we can jump from 1,700 feet. Then that's due to cloud in the UK. There's a lot of cloud, and we have to get below it. Also on demos such as racetracks and smaller arenas, we are sometimes limited to 15 knots just to make sure it's safe.
How do you coordinate with pilots and ground crews before a jump?
So coordinating with pilots before jump starts weeks before we even do the demonstration. So we have an aircraft coordinator, Corporal Richard Kingston. He'll reach out a couple of weeks prior, make sure they know the timings, what we want, and everything that's going to happen on the day. And in terms of aircraft on the day, that'll be led by our jump master. So once we arrive, he'll have a handover takeover from the aircraft coordinator, and they'll let them know everything that's going on. And the jump master will look at the weathers for that day, and they'll have a discussion basically before we get on the plane.
How do you design a aerial formation for crowd pleasing maneuvers?
So yeah, designing new tricks and stunts, as I say, is one of my favorite things to do. We love demos. Demos are great, but coming up with something new that you can put in the sky that everyone can enjoy is one of our passions, I believe. Now, how we come up with those is it's simply we're in the office. Yeah, we do drawings. We plan. I'd say the things we've planned that have been put in the bin compared to what has come to fruition and made it into the air, there's probably 100 things that get thrown in the bin and one thing that actually successfully gets done. So most recently with the Golden Knights, we've done the Hex. That was a world's first. And about 3 years prior to that, we were the first team to perform the pentagram. So, yeah.
How many world records have you made as
a team? As a team, I think we have 4 world records in history. I have one of those, and personally myself have 6 world's firsts on the team. They're not official records, but they're still world's firsts.
If you could parachute in any famous place in the world, where would it be and why?
It's a question I didn't really think about because I'm quite lucky on the team. We get to parachute into famous places all the time. I've jumped into Key West, Stonehenge, many places in the UK, manor houses, Miami, Canada. So there's not actually anywhere I'd specifically want to jump into, but I just want to stay on this team and continue to jump to cool places.
How about Egypt?
So yeah, Egypt would be cool. I've seen people jump over the pyramids before. I mean, putting a nice crew formation around the pyramid and landing right by it, sounds pretty good to me.
So what's your favorite movie that has parachutes in it?
Very easy one for me, and that's A Bridge Too Far. It's about paratroopers in World War II during Operation Market Garden. It's one of the movies I watched which made me join up to the regiment that I'm in.
What's the most challenging part of performing in front of large crowds?
That's a good question. The most challenging thing, man, I'd say it's getting over your own performance anxiety. It's not really anxiety, but we're all grown men, but we all want to perform, and you don't want to let your teammates down next to you. So it's making sure you're bang on the money. So it's being nervous about not being spot on that day, which fingers crossed to have been for the last 10 years. So
Awesome. Well, Cam, thank you very much. That's everything.
cheers. Thank you very much.
No, you're good.